Geralt! Geralt!
There you are. Is everything all right?
This is nice.
What a beautiful place.
Very.
How'd you find us?
Finding those I seek is a speciality of mine. Now, let's get out of here. The Scoia'tael are out in droves.
How's it living with Roach's soldiers?
Splendid. I know every shit joke that anyone's ever thought up. Plus, I've learned how to burp out the official title of the Emperor of Nilfgaard without reaching for beer. Shorty's told me about his 16 children, all named after Temerian troop divisions, and I know his nickname has nothing to do with his manhood. Nice to know that you care, though.
Glad to see you in a good mood.
I think I actually like them. They're good people. One of them even proposed to me.
Who's the brave man?
Sorry, that's a secret.
And here I thought Roach's boys had an ounce of respect for me. The massacre in Rivia, it came back to me, I remember. The angry mob murdering non-humans, a young boy with a pitchfork.
Anything else?
Death, or a state close to it, I'm not sure. I felt life draining out of me.
I was there. I arrived a moment later. Too late.
Don't worry, Triss. They're only memories. We have bigger problems to tackle now. Something tells me that in recovering my memory, I'll find out a lot about what we're dealing with now. Larito wants the Scoia'tael gone for good. He didn't say anything specific, but in his mind's eye, he saw them on the prison barge already.
Iorveth's outsmarted bigger fish than their commandant.
Larito's got something going with Sheila, so I'd take him seriously if I were you.
You never know. Maybe the sorceress hunts more than monsters.
I questioned Kieran, Iorveth's second in command.
Where is the bastard?
I get the feeling he's dead. Just landed on the Isle of Avalach. I've been to that island, Vernon. I remembered something while talking to Kieran. I was there with Yennefer. She gave her life to save mine.
Did you remember the crossing? How you got there?
With Suri's help.
Interesting.
What I find interesting is how a master spook like you has no idea what happened to me over those 5 years. 5 years, Roach. That's enough time to topple a monarchy twice.
First off, my responsibilities do not include the surveillance of dead witches. And second...
Spit it out.
Unconfirmed rumors. I've never taken action based on them.
I need something. Scraps, even. So you need to tell me everything you know. Even things you think might sound ridiculous.
3 years back, Fen got a missing persons case. Someone was abducting young people, aged 10 to 20. Now the case went cold because no one agreed to testify. Except for one woman. Considered insane because she insisted the Wild Hunt had made off with her son. And she claimed she'd learned of this from an old man who was pursuing the cavalcade. He resembled a skeleton more than a man. White hair. 2 swords on his back.
The Wild Hunt is a riddle. A riddle that will restore my memory. If I can just solve it.
As I see it, you're more likely to learn about the hunt from the insane. Not a reasonable man out there can teach you a thing. You might visit that asylum in the woods. Or what's left of it.
I found a patient's chart in the ruins of the hospital.
You mean the burned-down insane asylum?
They committed him to the asylum because he'd insisted he'd been a prisoner of the Wild Hunt. He claimed he'd been in a world without humans, where he'd seen herds of unicorns. He managed to return to our world after a year, only to find his children had died of old age. Following this, Vernon, it means he'd been to a world where time flows a lot slower. You'll get a chance to show your mettle. If we're to capture Foltest's murderer, we'll have to clash with the Scoia'tael.
I sent the boys out into the woods. Tough going, too dense. My scouts got ambushed and barely escaped.
It's no picnic hunting elves in the forest. Tell me something I don't know.
My people saw the Kingslayer again. He knows we're here, but he's not even trying to escape. Seems he's waiting for something.
I think it's our move. So long, Roach.
Any smartasses?
Good to see you, Zoltan. What are you doing so far from home?
It's a dog's life, Geralt, I'll tell you that much. You work your fingers to the bone for 6 years, you listen to the tirades of that old tyrant Breckenrig, you buy jewels. Then she breaks off the engagement. And there I was, learning a gavotte. Fuck it. Out of sight, out of mind. Farewell to Eudora, the forge in Novigrad, and all the world's Breckenrigs. I'm a plain merchant, and I've made my peace with that.
How are those biceps holding up, Zoltan?
Hard as a bull's bollocks. Arm wrestling's a dwarven pastime.
We ought to try it sometime.
I'll arm wrestle you anytime. Now, even.
Show me those bull's bollocks, then.
Your hand's like a vice.
It wasn't easy.
If you ever run into my old mates Yarpin or Sheldon, promise me you'll take them on. They'll be surprised.
Any news?
Triss has sniffed something out. Apparently, there are prisoners on the barge in the port. Squirrels, no less.
I spoke to the Commandant. The future hardly looks bright for the non-humans in Flotsam.
That fucker's only waiting for an excuse. One small provocation by Iorveth and he'll attack us.
How do you know?
Heard it by chance. Saw him walking through the port one night, talking to himself, that batty bastard. He mentioned a new order and a world for humans only. He laughed and shouted curses at the prison barge. The scum is up to something. Iorveth must sense it. is doing everything not to provoke Laredo, but his Scoia'tael might have a different opinion and less restraint.
Is there a good swordsmith or blacksmith here?
There's a small smithy by the wall. Quite basic. The tools probably remember the conjunction of the spheres, but it'll do for weapon repairs. They also enhance swords with runes and add ornamentation to armor. Just don't do anything that'll make you look like Dandelion at the opening of a new brothel. You could also look in on some merchants. I don't think Laredo's robbed them of everything yet.
How are you killing time in this hellhole?
At present, polishing gems for Sheila de Tanserville. Requires precision, but it's well-paid work.
Jewelry?
Not quite. The sorceress is building a magical contraption. Spends her days staring at it. A regular magpie eyeing a copper. But I don't think she's getting anywhere with it. Got so enraged one time she dashed a vase against the wall. Some temperament, those sorceresses, I'm telling you.
Wait till he drops his fucking guard! Freak.
Only the gods. I can make no sense of this relic I have been entrusted. The gods have not granted me understanding of it. Perhaps Providence grants you luck, and then I shall give you this prize. Perhaps you will make better use of it. We have sinned, forgive us.
Welcome.
Haven't you had enough, brother? These fights aren't part of the tournament. We need to set the stakes. So what'll it be?
I'm ready.
Gentlemen, let the dance begin.
Wait till he drops his fucking guard! Wait till he drops his fucking guard!
That was fucking poetry.
Left hook! Watch out for the left hook!
Greetings. Huh? Yes.
You look strong. Care for a little contest? Too strong for me. Here's what you're owed. You ought to give Wiry Wilkes a shot.
You'll not have an easy time with me. Strong man you are. Here's your coin. You should take on Big Max.
You're a strong lad, but I'm no wimp either. Wanna take me on? By Veo Patis's balls, you're strong. You're winnings. There's someone else. No one's beaten him yet.
Who?
Bartholomew Bargy. You'll find him in the village.
Well, neighbor, off to work again?
What do you want?
I heard you're the local arm wrestling champ.
You bet I am.
I'd like to change that.
Many tried and walked away with shit in their britches. You want to go?
You bet I do.
All right, come with me. Let's do it now. I'll be tied up later.
All right.
Have you heard? Another king was murdered.
Ready?
Let's do it.
Strong as an ox. Here are your orange. Once we had a company of Adam Pangrat's mercenaries here. I'm the strongest here, so I took on a due. But that lad's got superhuman strength. He beat me like a child. If you ever see him, tell him Bard Bargy drinks to his health.
All right. Zoltan, I need to ask you a favor.
Shoot.
I heard you know the local Scoia'tael.
You heard? Meaning some goat's arse and a helmet hollowed it out in the market square.
I need some way to get to this Iorveth.
You know, I don't want you thinking I'm all chummy with the Scoia'tael. And Iorveth detests me. Why would you want to see him anyway?
He knows where the Kingslayer is.
Iorveth? And here I always thought him a common thug. All right. No reason to sit on our arses. Come on. You can tell me everything on the way.
Lead on, Zoltan.
Tell me, who said I have contacts with the Scoia'tael?
Laredo.
What a prick.
That's why he wanted to hang you? For making deals with the squirrels?
What? I met a few, yes, but made no fucking deals.
What
So
about
how's
their
it going?
leader?
A fine
They say
mess.
Iorveth's mad, but the Scoia'tael are at his beck and call. Sod knows what he wants.
Hope he'll tell me what it is.
Tell you what, of two evils, Laredo's the bigger prick. Geralt, you coming? Get back here.
Because he almost hanged you?
Because he stirs up the locals against non-humans. And there's word he's colluding with Kedwin.
What's his aim?
Greed! King Hensel would gladly annex more land and grant Laredo privileges. Come on, we've got a long way to go. We need to go deeper into the forest. I hope they didn't change the password.
You know their password? What are you playing at, Zoltan?
All right. The Scoia'tael asked me to command a unit.
No wonder Laredo wanted you hanged.
This is it. I was due to meet them here.
I know. They're aiming arrows at us.
What? Geralt, I know full well you're always vigilant, but quit poking fun at me.
Give them the password.
What them?
Hurry up, they're edgy.
Kierkegaard!
Stop bawling. What do you want?
Countersign.
Heidegger. I asked you a question.
Take us to Iorveth.
Why?
If we wanted to speak with you, we wouldn't ask for your leader.
Iorveth won't talk with you.
You don't know that.
Leave while you're still able.
The two of you won't scare us off.
There are 4 more in that tree.
How do you know?
I can hear them breathing. One's sick or on Fistek.
How?
He's wheezing.
What? You elfin cock's gone soft?
We just want to talk to Iorveth.
Wait at the clearing. The dwarf knows where. We'll let Iorveth know.
Make sure you do. Come on, Geralt. I know what those elven pricks have planned. Been there once.
What are you talking about?
That clearing is a monster's lair. Huge horse son with a shell on its back.
An Ericus in these parts? I thought that was impossible.
I don't know the shit's name, but it's terrifying. They sent us into a trap.
Tough. Let's go.
We're here. That creature prowls down there.
Right where we're supposed to meet Iorveth.
Exactly. Any ideas?
I last fought an Ericus some time ago.
I never had the swiving pleasure. Not that I mind.
Wait here.
What are you? Think me a limp prick? This is the place the elves mentioned.
That thing approaching us is no elf.
I'll leave it to you, Geralt. Monsters are not my speciality.
A lovely show, Gwynblade. But tell me, was it worth it? An uneven fight and certain death await you anyway.
I could ask you the same thing.
What do you want, Vatgern? Speak quickly before I kill you both.
Letho betrayed you. He wanted to make a deal with your comrade, Kieran.
Kieran ep Esnillen is dead. 2 weeks ago, his warriors were ambushed and killed. You should invent better lies, Gwynblade.
He's on the barge, wounded but alive. He turned Letho down, and his unit paid the ultimate price.
If you speak the truth, Letho will die. But words alone are not enough.
So the hired assassin turned out to be a traitor?
It's his word against yours.
For now. Why do you trust him? Because he's a Dwan who agreed to do shady work for you?
He did what had to be done. He proved nobody's untouchable.
You attack and murder the people of Flotsam, forgetting that elves and dwarves live among them.
That's no life. They've been stripped of self-respect, forced to live and die by human laws. They're more Dwan than you, Geralt.
What's your angle, Iorveth?
You wouldn't understand.
Hiding in woods, killing berry pickers, eating roots.
We live by our own rules, doing what's necessary to attain our goal.
What is your goal?
What's it to you, Geralt? Esset Vatgern. You tell me to stuff it up my arse.
Not everything deserves that fate. My life now depends on your whim, so I'm curious.
Then listen well. The 2 dead kings were whoresons who damned their own children to stay in power. But in the East, there's someone truly deserving of a crown.
You still trust this assassin?
You may be lying.
If I'm lying, so did Kieran.
We'll investigate it for his sake. We shall see how Letho reacts to your sensational news.
Where is he?
The ruins of Kelmawed. For some reason, he likes the place. My unit will cover us. Ready?
Why did you want Foltest dead?
He might have appeared charming, But in reality, he allowed the elder races in Temeria to be oppressed. He was like Old Dwan, but his death has more significance.
Let's meet there. I have something to take care of first.
Vathel, Gwynblade. Just don't try any tricks.
We came here together, we're leaving together.
No, Zoltan. Your presence might raise suspicions.
As you wish. Just don't get slaughtered.